And this can be a very, very light layer.
2 seconds later.
I say as I squeeze on half the bottle. Hey, welcome to my video. If you're from my Instagram, I love you. And if you're not from my Instagram, love you all the same. So I have been deathly ill for the past 2 weeks. I felt pretty horrible. Last week's video was filmed a while ago, so I didn't even film last week. It was that bad, which means that today I want to try and get into a little bit of soft glam so that I can hopefully look a little bit better on the outside, and maybe that'll help me feel just a tiny bit better on the inside as well. So if you watch this channel, you know that my go-to is always very much dramatic eyes, a lot of blush, bold lip, all of that. But today the eyes are going to be really light and beginner friendly, and my main goal honestly is just for the skin to glow, shine, and look as healthy as possible. So if that sounds like something that you might be interested in, then please keep watching. Okay, so as per usual, I'm just gonna pin my hair back first and foremost. And now we can begin with the makeup application. I don't have anything on right now except for a little bit of brow stuff and some lip gloss, but that's it. So we are going to be starting off with the eyes, but before that, I like to do a little prep and prime with the skincare. If my skin has been feeling particularly dull, or if I've been sick and it's just not been giving, I like to start with either a little serum, or I did a little sheet mask this morning. And yes, I did do a sheet mask, and can you believe my skin still looks this dull? I know, it's very tragic. But anyway, we're gonna move on to the eyes now that all of that prep has been done. So normally I like to go in with the Heeeyyy base if I'm doing a heavy type of eyeshadow look, but since that's not what's gonna be going down today, I'm just gonna apply a little bit of my foundation to my eyes, just cause I still want my eyeshadow to have something to grip onto a little bit, but it doesn't need to be as sticky and as heavy as the Heeeyyy base. So as you were able to see, I took a tiny eyeliner brush and just cleaned up underneath my brows a little bit, and now I'm just taking a little bit of that same foundation on my finger and just melting it all over my eyes. And this can be a very, very light layer. It doesn't have to be a lot of product at all. I say as I squeeze on half the bottle onto my eyes, but you know what? Do as I say, not as I do. So for the eyes, I'm only gonna use one eyeshadow palette. This is the Nimya by Nikki Tutorials, and I'm using a fluffy blending brush. This is the Tapered Crease by BH Cosmetics. So with my fluffy brush, I'm dipping into shade Bronzer, which is a great transition shade, and I'm just running it all over my crease to start with. And while I do that, I need to tell you guys about this palette. So I actually reviewed it in a video here on my channel a while ago, and I was very, very pleasantly surprised with all the formulas. The mattes are very incredible and the shimmers are beautiful. So I find myself reaching for this palette quite often actually, and I'm very excited to see if they're gonna release any other eyeshadow palettes, because I will be honestly first in line to buy them. Okay, so that's done. I just wanted a light little wash all throughout my crease. So now I'm taking that same shade, same brush, and I'm applying it to the outer corner of my moving lid just to balance everything out. So this pretty much just looks like there's a natural shadow all over my eye, which is exactly how I wanted it to look. So now I'm taking a flat brush and shade Mr. and Mrs. Tutorials, which by the way is such a pretty shimmer, and I'm applying it all over my moving lid. So I hope that you can see that this shade really doesn't disperse too much pigment, but in natural lighting it just kind of looks like your eyelid is naturally glistening, which is perfect for today. But one little downside that it has, I don't know if you can tell on camera, I don't think so, is that there is a little bit of fallout, but you know what, with the shade this pretty, I really don't even care. So in terms of eyeshadow, there's literally only one more step to go. I know, can you believe it? Me, the girl who literally eats up eyeshadow for breakfast, is gonna end here. Shocking news, but anyway, I'm dipping into shade Sassy Classy from that same palette, and I'm using a tiny little detailed brush, which I say in every video. I have no idea what this brush is. I got it somewhere and then, you know, I completely forgot about it, but I use it pretty much every day. But you know what? Whatever you can find works great. And I'm just gonna dust this all over my upper lash line. And I want it to look kind of like this. The goal is not for this to look like heavy eyeliner, but I just want my lash line to look a little bit fuller. Now, let me not forget to do my other eye, girly, because that's honestly very me coded. And that's pretty much it for the eyeshadow. I love this look on days when I'm feeling a little sick and when I just want a little nice reset, because the eyes just look like they're glowing naturally. Now from here, you could just move on to mascara. I need to use a little bit of a lash serum first. Reason being is that my eyelashes are a little bit downward turned, and this is the only thing that keeps them staying up. So I'm gonna give that a few minutes to dry down, and I'm gonna be back to apply mascara later. But while that's drying down, I'm gonna move on to the skin. So the primer that I'm using today is the Plump Right Back Serum / Primer by NYX Cosmetics. I find that this is a really great product because it really does feel like a serum, but it does get nice and sticky like a primer. So it is sort of like the best of both worlds for this situation. I am gonna use some pore filling primer just on my nose and a little bit on my T-zone though. I hope you can see how much that primer already plumped up my skin. But now I'm moving on to foundation. I'm using the Maybelline Fit Me, and I'm just applying a little bit on one side of my face first. Now, since I haven't been getting much sleep because of all the coughing that I've been doing, I want this medium coverage foundation to be medium coverage at least. So I honestly, I know I said I was putting on a little bit, but that's very dramatic. I'm putting on quite a lot, and I really want to cover up my skin. That sounds so horrible, but hey, it is what it is today. But also, I wouldn't use a full coverage foundation for a look like this because I still want some of my skin to sort of shine through. I just want the good parts of my skin to shine through and the bad parts to be completely covered up. You know? You know. And I like doing my foundation in increments, so I'll do one side of my face first, then the other, then my forehead and jawline last. So as you can see, this side of my face looks much more flawless than this side, so we're gonna match the two immediately. So now I'm taking another flat brush, and I'm honestly not sure what this one is either. I am so sorry, very unprofessional of me, but I'm using that brush to clean up above my eyebrows a little bit. So at that point, I cover that side of the forehead with foundation as well. And then I move on and repeat the same steps on the other side. So since I'm not trying to look crazy today for a change, I'm gonna bring the foundation down to my neck. So now I'm moving on to concealer, and I'm gonna be using two different concealers for today. I'm gonna be using the Shape Tape and then the Superstay by Maybelline. And I'm taking the Superstay concealer and just applying it lightly on any problem areas that I might have. And then I'm taking the Tarte concealer and just applying it on my under eyes. And I'm gonna use a lot, girl, because I need it. So the only thing I'm gonna set is my under eyes using a brightening banana powder and a small beauty blender, and I'm applying a light dusting of the powder on my under eyes directly. Then I'm taking a fluffy brush and just sort of dabbing that into the skin. So pivoting back for a second, remember my naked lashes? Yeah, we're gonna use some mascara now. This is the Sky High by Maybelline. It's not my very favorite Maybelline mascara, but also it's not bad. So I'm applying one layer of that to my lashes right now, and then I'm gonna go back to doing my face so that this can properly dry, and then I'm gonna go back in with a second layer. So when it comes to contouring and bronzing, if I'm trying to achieve a look like I am today, the goal really is not to contour the face, boots the house down, you know? It's just to sort of brighten and bronze and warm up the face a little bit. So that's really what I'm doing. I'm using a NARS bronzer, and I'm just applying it to wherever the sun would naturally hit, because I'm trying to pretend like I've been outside and not cooped up in this apartment for 2 weeks, girls. All of that to say, this can be sort of messy, natural looking. It really doesn't have to be too precise. Now, personally, I always try and contour my jawline just a little bit, so I will not be skipping that step today. But it's really not necessary for the effect that I'm trying to achieve. So when it comes to blush, I use this blush every single day. It's by The Balm. It's a shimmery blush. Now I know that's a little controversial to say, but I use a shimmery blush every day. If you personally do not, which is completely okay, I would still recommend, if you're sick and you're trying to brighten up your skin and make it look as healthy as it can, sort of naturally, I really would recommend trying on a shimmery blush that day, because what it does is it really sort of brightens up your skin. It adds a little bit of highlighter without it looking streaky and like you really wanted to apply highlighter. It's giving more glow from within type of vibes. So even if you don't normally mess with a shimmery blush, I would recommend for this type of look trying it. Also, applying a little bit of it sort of everywhere around the face for this type of look is sort of the move. So now I want to set my face, and I'm using the All The Way setting spray by Trixie Cosmetics. Bathing in setting spray is honestly my occupation a little bit. Okay, now you could stop here. You know I have to use just a tiny bit of highlighter. I have to do it even though my skin looks glowy and healthy already. I just want that little bit of extra pop. And for that, I'm using the Fenty Beauty Diamond Balm highlighter. I use this on a regular basis anyway because I really love it. This type of highlighter, I need to tell you, looks beautiful under any light. And why I especially like it is because it really doesn't give off too much pigment. It just gives you a little light bit of shimmer, but mostly it looks like you're glowing from the inside. So for today, I'm just gonna apply a little bit less than I normally would, which is sort of this amount. Perfect. Now I'm gonna go back to the mascara. Right, so now the only thing I have left are the lips. So to start off with, I'm just removing my little lip gloss here. And just like the eyes, I'm aiming for a bit more of a natural lip. So I'm gonna use my favorite nude lip liner and line my lips how I normally would, which means I have to literally stop talking or I'm gonna ruin everything. That usually looks kind of like this. I also took the liberty of blending it up into my lips a little bit as well. And now I'm gonna use sort of a pinky cherry lip oil. This is by the brand Ansi, and I'm just applying that all over my lips, and it's gonna give me a nice little pop of color, a nice little tone, but nothing too extreme. See how that's sort of giving my lips, but better, healthier, juicier? That's the goal. Okay, so let me remove these hair clips and we can talk. So this is it for today's look. Honestly, I think I look way better, glowier, and way more healthy than I did in the beginning. And I also do feel a little bit better, you know, my spirits lifted a little bit, so that really goes to show the power of makeup. Now, what I want from you is for you to let me know how weird it is seeing me without a lot of eyeshadow on, and also let me know if you would ever try this look on yourself as well. And I just want to thank you for watching today's video. If you liked it, then please consider liking and subscribing, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.